Everyone can have a seat. I'm so glad to be here. And I'm so glad to be here with my beautiful wife. And let me introduce to you to Flora. Stand up, Flora. I invited her to come because she speaks French, and we have some visitors that speak French. She sings with us in the next and tomorrow's service with Charlie, and I know she's a woman of God. Okay, most of you know my testimony, a part of it. I only have about 10 minutes, but I try to be short. Usually I'm a talker. The thing is, we are completely different people from 10 years ago. I grew up in a very traditional Mexican family. We were Catholics. When I was about 16, I started to be a little bit rebellious, and I wanted to try something else. So experimented with Mormonism, and I didn't like it. I wanted to get a bicycle and a tie. Anyway, it got worse. My wife and I married in 1983, and because of demonic persecution, we tried to find answers and consolation in the Catholic Church. They kick us out. So the Jehovah's Witnesses came to the door, and 38 years later, we still were Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't like to speak bad about other people's religions or anything like that, but I want to speak about myself. I was brainwashed, and I thought I was on the only true religion, and I became self-righteous, judgmental, and too good for everything. I thought I understood the Bible, but it's a completely different way. Jesus is out of the picture to begin with. Jesus is not divine. They downgraded Jesus Christ to less than overseer. And his place is taken by the governing body, whom cannot be contradicted or questioned. So with that background, I engaged in helping people retain their homes from illegal foreclosures. I confronted and fought the banks in 2008, 2009, and we won some battles. I helped some people to keep their homes, but I was stepping on big people's toes, and they didn't like it. I was engaged in civil activities, real estate, and for that they tried to keep us quiet. They give me 20 years of prison. My attorney said, don't worry. They had to drop everything because those are civil charges. Those charges are not going to stick. So I spent some time in prison. And because I knew deep in my heart that I did not commit no crime, I did not hurt any people, I did not steal any money, I keep asking and praying and asking God, why am I doing here? What am I doing here? Why am I here in prison? And when you get into prison, they make you sign a declaration stating your religious affiliation. I did fill my registration as a Jehovah's Witness. Let me go back a little bit. In 1997, I saw some things in the congregation that were not biblical. And then I confronted the elders, and I was disfellowship. Although my family suffer a lot, is harassing, is civil rights violations, freedom of religion violation, you name it, there's bad. But still in my heart, I knew that God was teaching me, was talking to me since I was a little boy, I felt God's presence close to me. And I know this because when I tried to do bad things, worse things happened to me, so I didn't do that. And I was in danger. I asked God, and He provides solution time after time after time. So I knew there's a God. I didn't know His name. I didn't know much about it. Well, what it is ironic is when you go to prison, prison teach you more than most religions. To begin with, the Colorado correctional system does not allow any inmate to rise up above other inmates. They don't want them to be in control of another inmates. That's gang or gangs affiliation. That's how big fights happen in prison. I was having Bible studies. True to my beliefs as Jehovah's Witness, I started conducting Bible studies. And I got busted by the law. Inside the prison, they tried me to put me in jail because that's a no-no. And I noticed 3 groups of people, they told me, you cannot do that. If you're going to have a Bible study or you're going to read the Bible, you need to stick to your religion and go to your religion services when the volunteer comes from outside, either a priest, a pastor, an elder, whatever. So a Catholic, a Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, a Mormon cannot have a Bible study on his own and with other people if it is not with the presence of a volunteer from outside. But I noticed 3 groups, at least 3 groups of people that were having regular meetings on a classroom by themselves. No priest, no rabbi, no elder, no pastor. So I said, I need to find that out. So I asked the chaplain. And the chaplain told me that under Colorado, there's only 3 groups, 3 major groups that are allowed to meet without the presence of an elder or a priest or pastor. Those were the Muslims, Jewish, and Messianic believers. So I talked to the chaplain. You know what? I want to conduct Bible studies, and I need to do it in a way that I don't get in troubles. So the the chaplain told me, well, you have to become a Muslim. You have to become a Jewish. Or you can become a Messianic believer. Messianic believer, what is that? And see, there's God in everything. Right then, Chuck was passing by an inmate. He said, hey, talk to that guy. And this guy with a long beard, old man, and he's a criminal, tattoos on his face and everything. Oh my God, okay. I said, hey, I want to have a Bible study. Oh, say, I know that. I saw you, and you got busted, right? Yep. I got busted. I said, well, come to our service, Messianic believers. And that's the only way that you can have a Bible study. So they meet Friday and Saturday. So they have almost the whole day, from sundown to sundown on Saturday. So I'm praying, God, that this is what you have for me, and you're going to help me talk to people with good heart that wants to know you. Let it be. So then I went in, and the first thing that started is Baruch Atah Yahuwah. What? Where's the exit? I wanted to get out. They started speaking in a language. I thought they were speaking no tongue, but they were speaking something weird to me. But something held me in the seat. It was like a casquero light. I said, what? I wanted to move out of there. I wanted to run to the door. I cannot do it. I could not do it. It was God. In that moment, opened my brain. Oh my God. I still remember. Opened my brain and I understood everything. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they say, study the Bible. Well, let me correct this. They study parts of the Bible. They don't go through the whole Bible. But Messianic believers and every religion under Colorado Department of Correction, they must submit a program they're about to study or consider. I learned that because later on I was doing the clerical job, submitting to DOC what was the yearly program or the monthly program for every religion. And this is what we did. These are called Torah portions, or portions of the first 5 books of Moses. They're scriptures from the prophets and Psalms, and they're portions of the New Testament. And nobody can puff out himself, or lift himself, or portray himself as the leader. The first thing that I was told is, I asked, who's the pastor here? Who's the rabbi or the priest? He says, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. I don't see it. You feel it. And I'm bringing this because it was an earth-shaking event for me. I will not, there was no way in hell or heaven for me to go in voluntarily into a Jewish or Muslim or Messianic congregation. No, no. But I remember, I pray, and I cannot move myself out of the chair. I remember we started with Jeremiah 31:33, when the heart says, look, the days are coming when I change your heart. I will remove your heart of stone and I put a heart of flesh, and I will write my law in your heart. And all the verses keep coming to my head, to my brain, and I started talking. We did that for years. I did 7 years. But I became free. The most amazing things happened. You will not believe. I invited Flora for a couple of reasons. I didn't know Marsh was going to join me singing, but also she is the witness that she knows where we were living. Do you remember where we were living the first time we met? Can you tell them where we were living? And now, God let me see on a dream, actually many dreams. You will find. I said, I'm in prison. How can I be fine? You'll be fine. Trust me. I'm in prison. Eating prison food. And I asked him for my wife, can you protect my wife? And he let me see him in dreams like he was having her like here. And something on the readings, this kept coming to me. If you leave something, the book of Job, you're not going to lose your brother, your family, your camels, or your donkeys. But if you trust God, He will give you that if you get and more. Well, I am not being presumptuous, but when I came out of prison, I came broke. My credit shot. I was making $15 an hour. And I knew God is going to give us a house. And our car was breaking up. And so I said, well, it's time to change the car. I went to the dealership and I thought about trading my 2007, my wife's 2007 car and get a new one. Nah, you don't need no money. Get the new one and keep the old one. Okay. And out of the blue, I said, well, we're going to apply for a house. There was a couple of years. It was very difficult. Prices were going up and up. People had to offer more than they were asking for. Okay. So with my background, I was suing banks, and I was fighting banks in courts and going after Wells Fargo and Chase and all that. Who's going to give me a loan? God did everything. We have a house. What I'm going with this is, we started, when I became Messianic, I started reading the Bible. Just reading the Bible. And leave all the traditions, all the doctrines aside. But what I gain is freedom. At the end of my 7 years in prison, I was going to the Catholic service, to the Baptist service in Spanish and English. I am free. I can go anywhere and serve. When I came in prison, there was no way. There was no way for me to sing Christian songs. Now I cannot see the end of the week so I can come and sing. What I'm saying is, everything starts by you submitting to God and reading the scripture and keeping God's commandments. Pastor Dave talked about, and I got the notes on the PowerPoint, that many things on the law got changed or modified or eliminated through the cross. Nailed in the cross are all the penalties, punishments, and all the sacrifices and the commandments about the priests and the offerings and all that. What remains is gravy. Literally, what remains is gravy. Oh, forgot about it. I'm going to say something for the first time in almost 40 years. Happy birthday. I say this because the Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays. But now I understand. I understand better. God had 7 anniversaries for us to celebrate. But what can you give to God to impress Him? Nothing. His anniversaries are the other way around. Give us gifts, endless gifts. You don't need to leave your religion. You don't need to leave. Let me change the microphone. Hello. Okay. But you gain a lot. I thought I sacrificed things, but I got a house, I got a car, and I got no one congregation, no 2 sets of brothers, not 3, 4. Currently, my wife and I, when we can, we go to come here and with Charlie in the morning, and on Sabbaths, and we go to a Messianic congregation, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful to be free. It's beautiful to submit completely to God, and to have a need and say, what? Oh, it's here? Thank you, Lord. You don't need to ask for things. He knows what you need. I say this because the first of the feasts are coming. And I know for you this may be weird or strange or no, I don't do that. But my personal invitation, my personal request to you is let's do Passover. Now, this is, that's it? Okay. So, maybe next time we talk about it. But when you can, get with your family or by yourself and read the scripture. And that will set you free.